there's quite a few things that I'd like to share with you to do with the app and other things. For those of you in the UK, I don't know whether you'll be able to access it from overseas. Um, but earlier this year, I was interviewed by um, effectively the BBC, the British Broadcasting Corporation, if you're not sure what the BBC is, although it was a business a subcontractor of theirs, for a program that will be aired on Radio 4 in the UK, and it's called Where When Time Slows Down. When Time Slows Down. And they've interviewed myself, a guy who's a scientist who's into meditation, a stunt man, and a guy called Dr. Steve Taylor, whom I know, and I know the scientist guy as well. And it's about it's based on Steve Taylor's book Time Expansion Experiences, and self-realization is the ultimate time expansion or time dissolution experience because it's timeless. So if you're interested in that and you're in the UK and you can access it on Radio 4, it's released, I think I'm right in saying it's the 20th of August. And I'm going to say the time now and I can't remember the time. Is it 9 o'clock in the morning? I think it might be 9 o'clock in the morning. And it's repeated the next day at something like 5 in the morning, the 21st. And then again on the 22nd of August at, I think it's 4:30. And I believe, from what I understand, there are clips of me being interviewed in that. It's only a half-hour piece. So if I've got a 30-second clip, I might be lucky. But I am referenced in it, and if you're interested in that, it's on Radio 4 UK. It'll be on BBC Sounds podcast after that. I'm not sure if that's available internationally, but anyway, I'll mention it. I just want to mention that it will be an interesting little program, I think. Anything burning for anybody before I go on with all these other announcements? No. Okay. You've probably seen in the app, I'll cover this very briefly, there's been lots of app upgrades. So do have a look at those. There's lots more coming in terms of enhanced functionality, which I think will be very good and will serve the self-realization programs and so forth very, very well. So look out for that. That's more coming over the next few months. Another quick thing to mention is I think most people may be aware, but if you're not, I do have, and it's available 24/7, a AI bot that's been programmed with hundreds, literally hundreds of files of my videos and so forth that will answer your questions 24/7. And it's a great tool to use in between times, and it's available freely from the website in the support section. So gatewaylocation.org or thelivingsoul.org, go to support, see Ask Philip Bot, and it will answer your questions in seconds. And so that's tools available. What I'd like to do eventually is to link it from the app. If you were to look on the bottom home screen of the app at the moment, you'll see at the bottom right there that currently links to my website. What I would like to do is to take that to Ask Philip Bot, it's called. So I'm going to experiment with that in due course, but I just wanted to make you aware that that resource is available. Another one is I've been asked several times about when's the next retreat. I've now identified a date. It's not been publicised yet, but it's the 11th and 12th of October. The 11th and 12th of October. So this isn't included in the app subscription because we've had the one for 2025. There will be one in 2026 that's included in the app subscription. So if you want to note that date in the diary, it'll be the same format as before if you feel called to join. So look out for that. And again, it will be in person and online. And I'll announce booking for that in due course. The next date for the next call is the 10th of September. So that's the second Wednesday again at 8 p.m. UK time. So note that. You can register in-app. I can't remember if I've set it in the app to appear tomorrow. If not, I'll do it tomorrow. So you can register that way, but you'll get emails anyway. There's lots of new material being posted in the app, and I'm going to say more about that in a moment, because Ben in particular and I have been working hard on not only editing the existing recordings but also creating a lot of shorter form content out of retreat recordings and so forth. And that's going to be uploaded to the app, so we'll have more short form content. But something came to me, well, it's probably a couple of weeks or so ago now, and I wanted to run this by the community to get your reaction to it, which I'm looking at phasing in depending on how far you want to go with this. So I'm going to share my screen now. So hopefully you can all see that. I've called it, because this phrase came to me, what's happening, which is a play on words with WhatsApp. And this isn't all going to happen at once, but what came to me was that it might be good if we had certain days for certain things. For instance, top left here, I've got Friday would be the standard day where new material is released. And because we've now actually got quite a lot of short form videos. I think Ben counted up to 40 to 60. I can't remember where we were up to on that. And it would be possible to release one of those short form videos. They're typically anything from 5 minutes to maybe 10 or 15 minutes, and they're typically of the Q&A variety. And Friday would be the good day to release those. So this is something that could happen on a Friday. So that's something that's in the pipeline. And then there's a bunch of other things that could happen on other days. These are mostly fairly quick things, but it would people would then know what's happening. And I'm sure everybody doesn't necessarily use the app every day. But for instance, we've done a number of posts in the app, which Ben's been doing, called Did You Know? But if we dedicated, say, for instance, Saturday to a short Did You Know post, usually when Ben's done those, and we identified a number of those when the app was launched, and there's been many others since, somebody suddenly finds something out about an app function that they hadn't realized before. And that would be in the community post section. So that's something that we could do on Saturdays. It takes a couple of minutes to read, and you might find out something about the functionality that you didn't know before. What I'd like to do is, what I'm considering here is, if we sort of set these things for certain days and release these in phases, then we would know that that's what happened on a certain day. Now, I've identified something here for every day of the week, and I'm not saying this needs to happen. This is more for consultation and suggestion. But for instance, some of these will require some community input. So, for instance, let me pick out one. So, Carol, who's not on the call tonight, if I look at Thursday here at the bottom, she has done quite a lot. Asked quite a lot of questions on the bot, and she's shared some of that on Insight Time. But she's also done some of that from videos she's watched on YouTube. It struck me if more people were interested in that, and some people found that very, very useful, that we could dedicate, say, Thursday, where somebody could say, I asked this question and I got this great answer from Philip Bot, or I watched this video and this is what came, or I've converted it, in Carol's case, using ChatGPT into a transcript. That actually was quite helpful to people. So it doesn't just have to be Carol, it could be others. So if other people are interested in that, then you don't need to put your hand up now, but have a think about whether that's something that you're interested in. And then I've listed other things, and I'm not going to go through all of them in detail tonight. What I'll do is I'll put this in an email to the app community as an initial set, and I'll identify which ones would require community input. If these things resonate for you, then let me know. If they don't, that's also fine. But I'll just quickly show you one other. There's two more slides here. The thing that's changed here between the last slide and this one is the who, how bit on the right. I'm not going to go through that now. Look out for the email. And then the next thing is how this might be phased in. So it's not about you necessarily have to go to the app every day of the week, but it's more about if we had a schedule like this, then people would have an idea what's coming when without having to tell everybody all of the time. So if that sounds something that's of interest, let me know. But one of the things that's definitely going to be happening is this video release program. And I'd certainly like to get this Did You Know post happening more regularly. And Saturday at the moment is the day I've selected for that. The rest of it is up for grabs. The only final thing I was going to share was we've got, because we've produced quite a lot of short videos from the retreats and the community calls with individual Q&A types answers. One of the things that also people find very useful, especially if you've only got a few minutes, is short clips from those, which are anything from less than 60 seconds up to maybe a couple of minutes. On YouTube, they're called shorts, and people have actually found these quite useful. But it's actually quite a lot of work to produce those. If somebody's interested in taking the existing shorts that we've got and producing even shorter shorts from them, where there's a clip that gives you an indication of the content of the video, then that's something that we could do with some help on. But fine if not, but if you're interested in helping on that, then do let me know. So that was quite a lot to cover there, but I just wanted to share those things. And there's more still. Oh, and the other thing I didn't say, the book, The Living Soul, is now coming to the end of a professional proof edit. And so I'll be reviewing the final chapters of that in the next few days. And then it's going to have one more proofread. The only question now is how to get it published. So I'm still investigating the options for that. So we'll see what comes. So sorry about that. There's quite a lot to cover there, but it's all quite good stuff. It's all relevant. So hopefully that's been useful.